This is a test run. I'm not sure if anyone can hear me right now, but just trying to see if this XSplit recorder is working. I don't really have the YouTube information, so I'm going to hopefully upload it to the YouTube account later, but right now I'm just doing a test run, doing my low-level duty roulette. If I can get this to work, I'll probably do the Crystal Tower raid at some point. But this is the level 20 Halatali. It was an instance that I had unlocked a while back, and I'm doing it again for my low-level duty roulette, as I mentioned before. Because I need those soldiery tones. Also, I just kind of woke up, so not really in the most words. Excited. That's the word I'm looking for. Alberic Gungnar. How about that? Wait, come back! Come back! I can't hit you if you're still running. No, that's a good idea. Skadoosh. Later. Gas bam. Gross. It's a gross bomb. Perfect timing. Cali Blade Spirit. It's a crazy name for it. Oh, I hate yawning. Hate it. That bastard would let me assassinate him. How dare he? I'll assassinate your friend instead. Hoyall. Bitch. Bitch ass bitch. A lot of tongue faces going around here. I'm not really happy about that. Alright, Mr. Fire Spirit, let's do this. So, might as well give a brief explanation. Boss fight, mostly just tank him right here in front of the fire. And, you're supposed to spawn ads that run into the fire. And you're supposed to stop them at some point. But it's really easy to heal through, and tanks right now are really good geared, and like the DPS, you know, we're not entirely made of toilet paper, so we can take the brunt of the damage most of the time. That guy is standing in front of them, though, so I really don't know what he's doing, because he could just be hitting the boss instead of the ads, but that's okay, because I am OP the Ninja. You may notice that my gear is not exactly the most impressive. I think I'm I'm level 65. Yeah, 65. But, you know, I do have my relic weapon Atmas, which I just obtained last night after getting the first quest. Um, well, I got the quest, like, the entirety for the relic weapon quest, I'd say probably a few days ago. The first part was probably the most time-consuming between the ones I've done so far. Fucking shit! Stop yawning! Oh, I'm gonna punch myself if I don't stop yawning! So, when I got the quest for the relic weapons, that was the one that took me the longest, was the first part. And then, the second part, once I'd done the first part, is just, it is absolute just, why even bother? You know, I mean, like, I understand it's supposed to be a step, and I also understand that supposedly it was a lot, like, harder back in the day, because you had to get much more stuff. But right now, the step to just go from relic weapon to relic weapon zenith is just absolutely just face roll. Let me greet those. Basically, after doing a number of steps in order to obtain your item level 80 purple weapons, which are some of the best in slot weapons in the game, you go from getting all these, like, like going through the different steps of trying to, like, it's like a fetch quest. Getting your relic weapon beginning is like a fetch quest. You have to get a new base for the weapons, which is pretty steep as far as cost goes. I mean, I'm not the most rich guy in this game, obviously, but it's definitely a steep price. Luckily, I had some friends to help me out, so I was very blessed. But you go from having to get some daggers, kill some mobs, do some trials, which are for your relic weapon only, killing some more mobs, doing the hard modes for all of the primals, and then needing 150 additional tomes of soldiery to get the final item you need, which is like this oil. And then you have your first part of your relic weapon. The second part, I'm not kidding you, is just walk up to the lady that sells the item, right? Hit purchase item 3 times for 450 soldiery, and you're done. I mean, it's a joke. It's an absolute joke. The next part, a little more time consuming, at least for most people. Luckily, I was lucky. Oh shit, I hit that. I probably shouldn't have done that. I don't understand why we're... I mean, I appreciate the fact... I appreciate the fact that he's trying to go a little faster, so this is nice. Anyway. The next part is a little time consuming. Basically, what you have to do is you have to go to each of these predetermined zones in the game, and you have to complete fates in those zones that will drop the item that you need. The chance to drop is roughly around 2%, is what most people say. But in patch 2.3 or 2.4, I'm not sure, which was like 2 patches ago, they upped the chance for the Atmos to drop, which is very nice. I appreciate the fact that they're, like, not making it so difficult now, because somebody like me who's come so late into the game would pretty much be stuck at that point. But what helped me was, it's a pretty old, like, you know, post on the Final Fantasy XIV subreddit, but it worked out for me pretty much at the very beginning, which helped me speed along the process. And I'll explain it to you, but I will probably also, like, maybe put a link at the bottom of the YouTube channel or whatever, if this video gets posted. But essentially what it is certain times of the day, whether AM or PM, will have a much higher and greater chance to drop the Atma of that zone. So, like, the Atma of the Maiden, which I believe is Central Shroud, is supposed to have a higher chance of dropping at 1 o'clock. AM or PM doesn't matter. The trick, though, is that it's in Japan time. So, like, 1 o'clock there is like, I don't know. I think it's like 4 o'clock maybe. It's the opposite, like, time of day. Like, instead of it being 3 o'clock p.m. here, it's like 1 o'clock a.m. I don't know exactly the conversion. I'm wrong, because I just used Google to help me out. They're still rolling on that. But all I did was I typed in what time it was, and I typed in Japan, and then it posted a very concise time of day it was. Read that. So then whenever I looked up what time it was, I went to the zone, I went and did the Atma that I was supposed to, and within the first fate of that zone that I did it in, the time of day was correct, the zone was correct, I went to any random fate, which is how you get the Atmas, and it dropped. First time. It did that 5 times. Past that, I never really got a good time to, like, sync up with the other Atmas again. And if I can recall, it never really worked out again. Hold on, I'm gonna text something. Okay. It never really got the chance to, like, I never got to, like, get all of them based on that time. But that's okay, because that was enough of a start for me to, like, keep going. And eventually, I managed to get all of the Atmas I needed in one. I got 9 Atmas in a 10-hour period. And then the next day, I went out to work. I was out for a little bit, came back at around 9 o'clock, and then before 11, I got the last 3 I needed. And most of the time, those Atmas, like, people can have the hardest problem getting those. And I was very happy that I managed to do so within a week, within, just, like, a day or two. All in all, added up, it'd be about 12 hours, because I didn't get to play the day, like, the morning of the next day. So, like, the time it took me would have been 12 hours. And I think that's really good, because I've actually had a few friends of mine, LOL, a few friends of mine, who has also done the Atma quest, and had the Atma quest, and he said it took him over a week, and he finally got his last piece. But now, at the part I'm at after I have my Atma weapon... Shut up, Ben. After I have my Atma weapon is, I need to essentially buy these tomes and kill specific mobs to sort of enhance my weapon. And the tomes, I can't remember the price for each one individual one, but, like, overall, I'd say probably, I think it's supposed to cost me around, like, 4,000 tomes of soldiering, which is a lot. That's about, like, 2 caps worth, because the cap for any soldiery is 2,000. And you don't get a lot. Like, you get about 100 for the roulettes. Oh god, I'm gonna hit by that. Probably could use my limit break. I'm sorry, I'm texting again. Ah, shit. Shit tits. I'm gonna hit by that shit. Back. Alright. But since you can only get about 2,000 soldiery at a time, and the duty roulettes only give you about 100, and the raid gives you about 100, it definitely will be, time consuming. I'm not too worried about it because it's an item level 100 weapon. So, I'm at the point where all my other gear is going to be item level 100 to begin with. So I'm pretty much matched up to where I should be. Because all the gear I'm going to be getting from this point will be item level 100. Since, I'm going to break here. Since the rest of my gear will be purchased through soldiery, I think I'll catch up the rest of my gear before I start working on the next part of my relic weapon. I definitely don't see myself getting the end of the relic weapon or anywhere close to the end before the expansion, but I'm hoping to at least get these next few parts. Greed. Ooh, nice rolls. So, we'll see. I'm a little... I wouldn't say hesitant, but I'm definitely not, like... super looking forward to the next couple of steps, because they're supposed to be pretty time-consuming and or expensive. I know the last part of the quest requires, like... Hold on, I'll have to bring it up later, but it's like 40,000 gil, 80,000 marks for your Grand Company, 16 different drops from hard mode instances, 3, like... high quality crafted items, some miscellaneous items, and it's just like, holy shit. Like, I get that it's supposed to be sort of like a gate, like to stop people from just kind of walking in and getting an item level 125 weapon, but Jesus Christ, like, not even in like World of Warcraft was getting a legendary weapon this bad. Most of the time, well, actually, I would say, you know what, I actually wouldn't mind the way they do this in this game, simply because, in World of Warcraft, you had one chance a week to get the items you needed to be dropped for most legendary items, like, most of the legendary items from, like, Wrath of the Lich King on, because, back in the day, BC and Vanilla, legendary weapons were drops, or, if you have, like, the Atiash, the staff of the, what's it called, it was a quest, I think. I'm not sure. I didn't really pay attention. But like the Warblaze of the Azzinoth and blah 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 and all that, they were drops. So like from Wrath of the Lich King on, you sort of had to make your legendary weapon. And back then it was fine because there was no like weird lockout system like there is now. Because, like, in Cataclysm, they added the Raid Finder, and then they were like, well, we need to make sure Raid Finder has, like, a gated 1 week, just like all the other raids. And they were like, let's put Raid Finder and regular raids on different lockouts. But then they were like, let's put but you can only get 1 chance a week to get some items, to get the items. And it's a little bullshit, but, whatever. The only legendary item I ever managed to get before, like, the end of the expansion was the cloak from... the Siege of Orgrimmar. Basically the legendary of Pandaria. There really was no other one. I was happy. I managed to get it beforehand. Unfortunately, I got it on my class that I didn't even take to Warlords of Draenor. So it was kind of wasted. Well, maybe not wasted. It was just unused. But the most, like, frustrating thing was needing a drop in, like, Siege of Orgrimmar or something, and then when you did it once a week, you could only do it once a week, regardless of the difficulty, whether it was Raid Finder or if it was, like, normal raid. You only could get it once a week. If you got boned and you didn't get any of the chance drops you got that week, you were done so. You had to wait till the next week. And I feel like that is a really shitty way of doing legendary, because yeah, it's not as like, it's not as hard on your wallet, and but it's so much harder on your time, because you literally have to wait a week in between drops, hoping that you get the next one. I know some of my friends who didn't even attempt it because they came in so late, and they knew that they had to wait weeks in between. So I think that's bullshit. I prefer this system more because even though it's more out of my pocket and more out of my, like, sort of farming, I like the fact that I'm not gated to wait in between weeks. I really appreciate that. At least not to my knowledge. Now, there might be a point where you have to get so many poetics, which poetics in this game are like the advanced version of soldiering, and they are required to get once a week. So, I'm about to kill this guy. Just killed him. Finish my duty roulette. I will probably stop recording here. Stop rambling. Blah blah blah. I got my 100 stuff. Marauder's arms looks kind of cool. I'm gonna just commend this person because I can. And yeah, that's my duty roulette, my test video. Thanks for watching, whoever it was, even if it was just me. I just wanted to test it out. So, thanks guys.